Welcome to episode 18 of the Phu Podcast. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, it's going to look like a vlog, but I decided to record this podcast while I'm going for a walk because life's busy. I don't always have time to talk at my desk. I'm currently getting in my walk before I head out to do a volunteering training program. So today, it's time to make an episode. So where have I been? I haven't made an episode for a while. Well, I got a full-time job. That's what happened. I've been working full-time for nearly a month now. I'm working in disability support, and it's probably the most fun job I've ever had, and life is going good. So I think it's ready to make a brand new episode. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to drop a like. If you do like my content, drop a comment if you have a thought to share, and let's get right into it. So today I want to talk about why I think full-time streaming is not a good idea. I'm going to be real. I don't think full-time streaming is a good idea. Now, this is coming from someone who did it for 7 years. And I can tell you from personal experience, and this is my own biased experience, so you don't have to necessarily do what I do, but this is just my perspective to you. So, there are a couple of reasons why I don't think it's a good idea. The first reason is that the assumption that if you stream full-time, you will grow like somebody who's streaming full-time, okay? This was a big assumption that I had when I decided to embark on full-time streaming. I assumed that, hey, if I can put the 8 to 12 hours a day, 5 to 6 hours a day, instead of being at a job, and I can do what I want, I'm gonna grow. Here's the thing, I did that. I streamed 6, 7, 8 hours a day. I made YouTube videos, I made content. I didn't necessarily grow beyond a certain point, because the assumption is that if you stream full-time, you will grow like somebody who's streaming full-time. When the reality is, a lot of streaming growth comes from the content you make, not associated with streaming. What I mean by that is it's not when you're live when you necessarily grow, especially when you're a smaller streamer. All right, if you're a smaller streamer, okay, and you're streaming to 2 people for 8 hours, there are far more productive things you can do from a point of success, from a success perspective. From a success perspective, yes, you could stream full-time, right? But to 2 people, look, and I've done that. I've streamed 5, 6, 7 hours to 2 people, 3 people, 7 people. These days, if I ever do go live, it's to 20 to 30 people. I used to average 100 viewers, 70 viewers, 110 viewers. Now I average 30 viewers. Why? Because the Twitch landscape has changed. You know, people aren't necessarily staying home and watching streams as much, or they're watching somebody else. They're not watching you. You're not number one on their priority list, okay? So that's the first thing I'll share. The second thing is that if you are a gamer or you like making content as a hobby, I want to warn you, and this is from my own personal perspective, now I could be wrong, that turning your hobby into a business can very quickly kill your passion. Now, especially when you listen to like mainstream advice, it's like, follow your passion, do what you love, and the money will come. That could be true, but I also have experienced that when you turn your passion into a career and it becomes your income, now it's a job. You know, it's not necessarily for fun. You can't always do things that make you happy because it's what you enjoy. You know, it comes down to, you know, like in business, for example, you got to make the client happy. You got to make the customer happy. With Twitch streaming or any kind of live streaming or content creation, you have to make the viewers happy, right? Now, a lot of people do start out streaming with their self in mind, which is totally fine. You can totally do that. We're talking about success here. You can stream because you want to make money, you want to get viewers, you want to do all this, right? But in order for that to happen is that the people receiving your content have to like what you're doing, right? I remember a couple years ago, especially when I was making a lot of TikTok videos, people would ask me for advice. It's like, what should I stream? What should I stream? And I'll often tell them, you have to stream something in demand. You have to give the viewers what they want to see. But then the people will be like, oh, but I don't want to do that. That doesn't make me happy. See, that's the problem, right? So you have to find that happy medium of doing what you like and what the viewers want to watch. I struggled with that. When I streamed Zelda, I was doing very well. When I wasn't streaming Zelda, my viewership dropped, my income dropped. So I was trapped. So whenever I tried to experiment and do something new to grow my stream, I had to take on the disadvantage of my numbers dropping. And if your numbers are lower, you don't get organic growth, right? So that's the second point, is that if you turn your business, like your hobby, or any of that into like a financial business, it can kill your passion because you won't enjoy it like you did it when you were doing it as a hobby. That's one of the reasons why I now enjoy content creation as a hobby, right? Anything I make is a bonus. Because the reality is like now I've got stable income for now, as long as I can keep this job. I can create freely, as opposed to creating attached to the I need to make this amount of money, or I can't pay rent, I can't pay bills. Now, the third thing is mental health, okay? I caution you, if you are attempting to be a full-time streamer, okay? Let me caution you, your mental health, you've got to take care of it. You absolutely have to take care of it. Why? Streaming will mess with your head. Ask anyone who's ever streamed longer than 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and tried to turn it into a full-time income. Your numbers will do your head in. I'm just gonna be real with you. When your numbers are high, you're feeling good. When your numbers are low, you're not feeling as good. People can say all they want. Oh, just ignore the numbers, just have fun, and the growth will come. That's great and all, but if you're averaging 50 viewers one day and now you got 14 the next, it's going to be hard to ignore the evidence. You know what I mean? It's like you're not performing today, and your mental health, especially when this is your income, this is what you do to make a living, that is going to mess with your head. Okay? Now, I will say this. Getting a job can also mess with your mental health. It's entirely up to your life. And if you are going through something, if you're struggling with something, professionally or like on a personal level, go seek professional help. Okay? If there's counselors, like psychologists, anyone that you can reach out to, I highly recommend you do it, because that's what I did. I reached out for help. Even when I was looking for my new role, I reached out for help. You don't have to do it by yourself. Get help, okay? If you're struggling with mental health, you need to talk to somebody. If you have the availability and the access, I highly recommend you do it, okay? Like don't trap yourself. All right, don't feel like you have to do it all on your own. And if you are doing it all on your own, find a way to reach out to somebody, because you don't have to live this life, doing it all by yourself, especially in a modern society now. If you live in a first world country, if you live in a third world country, I hope there's access for you. Now, the fourth thing I'll tell you is that streaming can get very lonely. Very lonely. Why? Because you're spending all your time in front of a computer or a mobile, you're live streaming yourself, and the interaction is not equal. Here's what I mean. When you're the streamer, right? You are live streaming yourself, and your feedback from your audience is a chat box. You're reading text. This is an artificial interaction. It is. It's not real, as opposed to like being face to face with somebody. Now, a lot of streamers will be very, very lonely. Very lonely. I've personally talked to big streamers, people who average 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 viewers, and they tell me, dude, this gets lonely. This gets so lonely. So I'm telling you, if you want to be a full-time streamer, I hope that you can develop a social life outside of your streaming hours. Don't make streaming your entire identity, even if it is your full-time income. Like, if you think of somebody in their job, right? Yes, your job makes up a big portion of your life, but don't make that your full identity. Okay, don't make it your full identity, because your mental health and everything else is going to be assigned and attached to it. Okay, so please don't do that. Okay, have a social life, have friends, go out, do stuff, have other hobbies that don't involve how many subs you have, that don't involve how many likes you get, that don't involve your metrics. Have a life outside of streaming, even if you're not successful or successful. All right, I know big streamers who feel lonely. I felt very, very lonely many times as a streamer. But on the flip side, streaming also made me feel less lonely, because I could connect with somebody. I'm not saying the connection online and reading a chat box is not connection at all. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that it can't be your sole source of that. Get out, make friends if you can, have a life outside of streaming. It can get very, very lonely. Now, the fifth thing I'll say about full-time streaming, and this is, a bit more on the lifestyle side, is that live streaming can be very unhealthy. Go look at modern streamers now. What's the meta? The meta is streaming 20 hours a day, doing subathons, doing uncapped subathons. And look, no disrespect to any of those people who do that. Look, you gotta hustle, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? These guys are professionals, they know what they're doing. But if you're a 10 viewer Andy right now, you should not be doing that. All right, don't do that. Absolutely don't do that. You're not gonna grow like them. That's not what got them growth. like if you really look at it, if you really just use a little bit of investigation here, the vast majority of people who grow as a streamer grew because of some kind of content that they made. That's what happened. They grew because of content that they made, right? So I'm just trying to share this with you now. It's like, I just want to put it out there. You know, I've put streaming to the side for now. I now stream as a hobby very, very rarely. This is coming from 7+ years of experience. I've made money, I've succeeded, I've gotten speedrun world records. I live the entrepreneur type life on a smaller scale. I didn't quite make it, so take it with a grain of salt. Maybe you can listen to somebody who's more successful than me, and I'll say, you know, oh, don't listen to him. You know, he just didn't make it. That's why he's saying it to you. But seriously, the vast majority of people who try streaming will not make it. They will not make it, okay? So, what I'm trying to say is this. The final piece I'll leave with you. If you do like streaming, and you want to try it out, and you want to give it a go, my recommendation now is to stream as a hobby, enjoy it. Why? Because if you stream as a hobby and enjoy it, you're probably going to make better content. And that's what's going to make you succeed. 2 things. Great content and people enjoying your content and sharing it with others on an organic level. All right? Great content is what succeeds. Okay? People like your content, they share it with friends, they watch it themselves, they consume it themselves, they come and watch you. Okay? So, if you're thinking about being a full-time streamer, or you're already a full-time streamer, I would say, let's start allocating those hours somewhere else. Go have a life outside of streaming. Start making more YouTube videos instead. And then now you're gonna be editing 7 hours a day, right? If you have the income, hire an editor. Free up some more time for yourself so you can enjoy and live your life. I did it for 7 years, you know? Now I work full-time. I've got great hours. My pay is pretty nice for what I'm aiming for. And I'm about to turn 33 in a few days. Right? And this is the happiest I've been in a long time. Not because, oh, streaming's traumatic, I hated it. No, those 7 years were amazing. I learned a lot during that time. What I'm saying is you don't have to spend 7 years, okay, to learn that lesson. I'm just telling you from my own perspective. You don't have to spend 7 years doing that, okay? So, and I'll leave you with that. Go and live your life. Make streaming a part of your life if you want to be a streamer. If you want to completely ignore everything I said, that's totally fine. It's just perspective. It's just content for you to enjoy while you're driving to work, driving to school, or you're coming home from work, or whatever you're doing, or you're at home, you're looking for a job. This is just some fresh content for you. And I haven't made a podcast/vlog in forever, and I've missed doing this. Why? Because it's a Saturday morning. I have a couple of hours free before I go ahead and go do other things. But I figured I'd record it on my phone. Yes, the audio is not perfect. There's wind blowing in the background. There's cars driving everywhere. But can I just say to all of you, thank you for being a part of this journey. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I might do more episodes like this in the future where, you know, the source of the podcast won't just be from me sitting at my home desk recording with the perfect microphone, but it could just be me whipping out my phone because I'm at the beach and I just have a good idea and I want to share with you that I think is good, right? So guys, if you like the podcast, if you like it and you want to help me grow, drop a like, drop a comment, share it with somebody, leave a positive review on Spotify. And if you want to, that's okay. But I hope you all have a great day, have a great week. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining. I want to make some more episodes in the future. I'm still figuring out my lifestyle. I'm still trying to learn how to be efficient, but we're going to get there. So take care. Peace out. Love you heaps. And thank you for supporting me. And I'll see you guys around. Take care.